What is up, guys? It's Dr. Ray here, and I'm coming at you with another video. Today we're going to hop into the charts, go over things really quickly. Things do not look good, but here's the reality, guys. Times like this is when the big bucks are made. So I'm going to teach you some lessons that I've learned in the previous bear markets and previous bull markets, and how you're going to pull ahead as we head into this bearish time period. Alright guys, let's hop into the charts real quick and go over things. Alright guys, so we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart first, and as we've seen here, price has really taken a dip. We've cracked under this hard support area here, which sat in the 30k-ish range, and once we bottomed through that area, price just crashed down. And to be honest with you guys, that is kind of expected. You know, once you crack through this range here, if you kind of see on the other side of the chart, there's not really any support. So like we said, or like you guys should know, previous support and resistance are going to be the points that you want to look at a chart, and we're going to tell you the most information. So as soon as we crack through that support area, you know, we just kind of waterfall down, and we're now coming in and touching this next area, kind of range here, which is in the 20k-ish range. And there are a few key points to hit this range. You know, you have other factors like the 200-week moving averages that come in this range. But look guys, the reality is once we cracked under this range here, it's anyone's guess, you know, how far down we're going to go. So it's like I said in previous videos, you know, even when we're in this 30k range, we are still technically a long-term accumulation zone, because even from all-time high down to that zone, you were looking at about a 57% reduction in the price of Bitcoin. So coming down to the current levels, you're still looking at about a 68%. And if we come even lower, you know, down to the 10k range, you're at about an 82%, 80% range. So most analysts are thinking that the range for the bottom of Bitcoin was anywhere between, you know, this 10k, 11k, 9k range up to, you know, that 30k range. So that is quite a big range. But when you compare it to the previous all-time high, you know, we are heading into that accumulation range. So ultimately though, the question is going to be, even once we hit quote unquote the bottom, how long will we be there for? And the reality is, again, nobody knows, right? If you look at previous cycles, from previous top to previous bottom, you were looking at an approximate time frame of December 2017 till December 2018. So let's say it's about a year. Okay, the problem with this most recent cycle is you would run into a dilemma, because where do you measure that top from, right? This current cycle right now is a bit different from previous, and some indicators would actually indicate that from a momentum perspective and from other metrics, that the top was really around here. And even though we had this double top here, you know, you should technically be measuring from here. So if you measure from here, April 2021, you know, we're already past that, right? We're in June of 2022. Whereas if you're measuring it from here, November of 2021, we're still not at that 12-month mark. So it's anyone's guess. And remember, even though if you technically hit that bottom here in end of 2018, you know, we did have that kind of parabolic rise back up to $13,000 of Bitcoin. But again, we had that drop again back down in 2020 down to 4K range again. So ultimately, it's unknown, you know, how long we're going to be in this. But regardless, we are currently in an accumulation zone, and if you're purchasing for long term, it shouldn't really matter if you're buying now. You know, obviously people would prefer to buy cheaper, but the reality is you're not going to be able to time that bottom. Now, the one thing that's different about this cycle from previous cycles is that looming macro bearish sentiment. And what I mean by that is the overall Fed, the overall market itself is bearish, right? If you look at the stock market, is just waterfall down as well, right? And this isn't really what you saw in previous cycles. You know, from 2017 till 2020, yes, we had this dump, black swan dump from COVID, but you know, it was pretty much up only in the stock market from then, right? So that is the one thing that's different. High inflation levels, and the Fed is just not on our side. So these are all things that are working against us, and we're just not going to be able to tell how long we're going to be in this bottom for. But regardless, long-term wise, we are in accumulation zone, and this is when you want to be looking at those coins that you've always wanted to pick up. That's not to mean you should be looking at all coins right now, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're becoming ever and ever cheaper as the time goes by. So, Ethereum, like I had this waterfall dump down, currently in 1100 zones. These lines are irrelevant right now, but as you saw, once we really cracked through this support line here, we kind of just fell down. And really, these previous supports were irrelevant, and that's mainly because we saw that crack down through Bitcoin, and because Bitcoin didn't have any support, it smashed through. And Ethereum, like all other altcoins, is not going to respect its previous support lines because it just follows Bitcoin, right? Currently, that's what happens. So next support's looking around, we're basically almost there at around $1,000 on Ethereum. But regardless, you really have to be tracking and looking at Bitcoin, not Ethereum, because Bitcoin is really going to lead you here. So right now, we can't really say which way the market's going to go until we can see that support from Bitcoin. So that's pretty much it, guys. Right now, there's not really much to say. We are basically just in a fall downwards here. So I don't really trade. I more just buy for the long term. So this is an accumulation phase for me, and so I've already purchased a little bit more. And if it goes down further, we'll just have to buy more. So we're in this for the long run. This is just the way it is. It sucks. Market's down. Ultimately, I think sentiment is still not at capitulation levels. We still see a lot of bullishness in the market. People still sticking around, thinking that things are going to turn around quick, and that's just a sign to me that we're not at max capitulation. Basically, to me, when everyone else is asking, is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? Should we buy in? That still tells me that there is still a lot of positive sentiment in the market, and we haven't hit those bottom levels yet. Not to say that we may necessarily will, because there's definitely a lot more people in crypto now than there was in the past cycles. But to me, that just seems like there's still a ways down to go. So we'll see. Take care. Stay safe. The best thing is, if you're getting hurt by looking at the charts, just close the charts. It's not going to do you any favors. All right. Take care, guys.